What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, guys?
And we've got a special video for you today. Set review.
Yeah.
So they released, I guess, Shattered Alliance's full card set on Kaijudo.com. You can follow the link that we've got up at the top of the screen here. We've followed it. You just basically go to Kaijudo.com and then you scroll down and it's right here at the Shattered Alliance new set.
I was really surprised they did it. You know, they're not really like one for not really one for spoilers.
Yeah.
Came out 2 weeks before the set came out. You know,
but I mean, it's really good. Like this helps everybody. I mean, every collectors, competitive players. Like we can now proxy out the set. Collectors know what they're trying to get out of the set, and everything. And we've got the whole
I guess
card
they
list
heard
right
the
here.
outcry of the competitive players who cared about seeing spoilers early. I was okay with seeing them on time or not seeing spoilers at all until like the set came out. But you know, this is pretty cool too because it's time to test some stuff which we haven't done yet.
Right.
But,
especially with the KMC season coming up
so quick, and the
fast
ARG
moving.
Circuit Series.
Oh, indeed.
Check that on AlterRallyGames.com.
Yes, but basically what we're going to do for you here for the next however long hour or so that it takes us to get through all these cards, we're just going to go card by card and talk about them, give some high points, let you know which ones to watch out for, and our thoughts on what they might do in the meta.
And bear in mind, these are mostly initial thoughts. Like we've talked about them a little bit. We haven't had a chance to proxy anything or test anything yet.
Right.
So we just basically have our ideas.
The set, they just released this set spoiler on Wednesday, and it's Friday night now, so this should be coming up, I guess, Saturday for us, so it's been out for like 3 days.
Yep.
And I've only ever looked at this thing all the way through once, and we've seen some cards like Blinder Beetle Prime. They've had this guy out for a while, and but some of the new ones here, well, we'll just go through them and talk about them and give initial thoughts. So let's start it out with Blade Barrier.
The Lyra spell basically has the Lyra effect on a 3-cost spell.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I sort of like it. I think for competitive purposes, if you want a spell like this, Spark Cage will probably just do it better for most decks.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it's not a Shield Blast hurts it as well. But it's okay. It'll definitely be really cool and like limited.
Yeah, it'll be very cool within the set premiere coming up, all the limited tourneys, and limited in the future if we see more of that.
We're really into like sealed and sealed and like booster draft and all that. So you'll see us like talk about our thoughts on cards in that sort of environment too, because it is a very different environment and it's cool to think about.
But this card does have some merit, and I think it'll see play initially when the set comes out. Other than that, I don't think it's going to see play outside of maybe like the first week of KMC runs. It might find its way into a couple decks, but other than that,
it's just hard to think of a deck that would use it more than Spark Cage or something.
That would utilize that when there's better cards out there. We've seen this guy. We know him. We love him. Blinder Beetle Prime. This guy's going to be
fan.
Yeah, this guy's going to be great. And Mono Light, it replaces Halon, and its effect is just amazing. I mean, it effectively taps 2 cards. We talked about this guy before.
Yeah, if you didn't see the Rush video we did, basically, if you're using Halon for its power, you're probably in a losing position in that game. And the fact that Blinder Beetle Prime can tap so many things, even when you don't have a card like Shock and Eye out, for just the 5 mana and double break, it's going to be game winning. Like, this is what you want to end the game with. It's just so good.
And it'll find its way, I think, into controls that might have an Enforcer line, like old Cobalt decks. Like if aggressive decks find their way back, evolutions like this guy will definitely find their way in. I mean, it just makes for a bomb of a finisher, especially on turn 5.
And it's a perfect card to utilize alongside Sparkblade Protector. If you had already played that card, you can evolve something else into Blinder Beetle Prime and like get around Herald of Infernus that way. Like you can attack with this guy, double break, tap Herald, use Sparkblade to kill it if you need to. Usually you'll just win the game, but there are situations where you need to kill Heralds.
So, this next card, I think, deserves a lot of discussion.
Best card in the set, obviously.
Heliosphere. It's a battle sphere, so bait, obviously. Its flavor text is pretty important.
Probably the best art we've seen in Kaijudo so far.
Probably.
I would say.
It's like a little ball with a little, I don't know, squinty face.
See, I just wish it was full art so we'd have more balls.
Yes.
But we don't. But it's still great. So.
Sadly. But, I mean, you get some balls in the background there. 3,000 power. It's not bad. And it's only a common, so it's going to be pretty easy to pick up. I mean, 3 of each in every deck.
Obviously.
Definitely.
Would you tech it in Hyderbod Crab control? Would you like splashes?
No, it's too good. It's too
good. Or Hyderbod? I don't know, but we'll see.
Shoutouts to Naoki Saito.
He did the art of Storm Spark Blast.
Oh, what do you know?
And they look very similar. You can't tell.
Well, there you go, Heliosphere guys. Keep a lookout. This guy's gonna make some waves.
Mark of Eternal Haven. This card is pretty terrible, you guys.
The marks, man. They're not good enough to be run.
Mark of Kalima I can see some people running it and it not being awful. Like this, I just think whenever you play this card, it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't seem good.
yeah.
Like it's an 8-cost draw 1 spell, and you're putting one
could
blocker
maybe
that
drop
costs
a
less.
blocker.
But it's like you're putting blockers that cost less than this guy.
Yeah.
At the very least, it should be like that costs 9 or less. Like what would be the harm in making you be able to drop an Archon on turn 8?
Yeah. I mean, I think, in order for this to be any sort of playable, it would have had to been like level like 6 or 7. But even then, that would have been too good for Herald. So I
You mean
just,
for
or for Haven? Yeah. So this card's not going to see play, guys.
the marks weren't the best
Continue to be underwhelming.
competitive idea, but they're there.
They're neat. I mean, I guess if you happen to pack this and a Haven and sealed, then you might be able to do something cool. But
I don't even know if I even
yeah,
want the space, but
right, because I mean, you got to think sealed decks generally the faster deck wins, the deck with the best progression wins. So
good use of the art though. I like the art.
yeah,
I like the art.
yeah, it's cool.
Excuse me. I couldn't even stop it. Everyone's freaking out about this guy.
Yeah, he's cool. I mean, he's definitely gonna see play. I mean, he kills everything, obviously. That Omega Pulse, it wins all battles. So I mean, it kills monarchs. It kills.
It's like Slayer, but you don't die.
Yeah, it kills everything. It just does not lose. And I think Slayer still kills this guy.
Slayer does kill this guy.
Because it's Slayer's whenever Slayer would lose the battle,
Yeah.
it would kill it. So I mean, technically, it can't like get over like that kind of thing, but it kills big stuff.
Yeah. It's just
cool.
I wish it was removal sink for real.
I wish it was less mana. Like I think,
Oh,
I think like 7 mana it would have been better. I think it would have seen more play. At 8 mana, I just don't think it's going to see that much play.
Yeah, like you're already so close to dropping a card like Eternal Haven. A lot of decks that focus on light, like a deck that would use this, would probably just rather play the Haven because it's more versatile.
Yeah.
Like you top deck it, and you don't really want to play this double breaker that gets eaten by Terra Pit. You can just for 2 more mana drop Haven, which is nuts and gives you a draw and doesn't get eaten by Terra Pit.
I mean, in theory, the power on this card doesn't matter at all because of its effect. Obviously, it
the fact that
avoids
it's-
like weenie removal spells, but like
Against a field that's like not there, like if you're just top decking and you top deck this guy, it's just like it doesn't really do much besides effective. Like it doesn't do much effectively besides get rid of other creatures.
it's just.
It's
I
just
mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not. It's underwhelming.
but it's cool for like Skyforce champions. Like I
yeah.
see them using this, tap anything with strategist and kill it.
And it's a double breaker too, so I mean, it's got a little bit of merit. But I
Some
think
decks
it'll
will use it.
Yeah, I think it'll see play initially when the set comes out, and then it'll fade away.
Unless Skyforce champions get a resurgence, then I could see it being used
Yeah.
to more effect.
So next guy, this Replicator Patrol.
The filler blocker for real.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I like effects like this that kind of like recreate cards when they, I guess, get banished. But it's from the hand. I wish it was.
This is one when you play it. When you play it.
Oh, it's when it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's when it enters. Okay, I thought it was when it got banished. I should read the card first.
There's like very few decks that would 1-drop 2 blockers on turn 4, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, you lose a lot of hand presence, and I mean just better options in your hand. You don't necessarily need 2/4 for 3,500 blockers. This is like 4 for 5, then yeah, but even then,
You'd probably never use it for the effect, you just use it for his 4 for 5. So
yeah, exactly. So
there's quite a few filler cards. This is one of them for real.
Yep.
Repulse. I actually kind of think this card is cool.
Yeah.
Real talk.
it is. It isn't the worst. I mean, you get 2 effects for a 6-drop. You tap something, so effectively a Sun Shock, and then if you have 2 for your shields, put the top card of your deck into your shields.
Like, if a deck is running white and it's really afraid of Rush, then, like, as a Shield Blast, this card could be potentially insane. Like, they break it, like,
Yeah.
near the end, and all of a sudden, their board is tapped, and you get a shield back, so...
And you got to think, as far as shield regeneration goes, the only card we had was the 4-drop. What was it?
You mean spell?
The 4-drop spell.
Yeah, it's recharge, yeah.
Recharge that got you a shield back for 4 mana. But I think this guy just does it better at Shield Blast and it taps something. So, and I mean on turn 6, I don't think you have anything else that can get you shields back other than recharge
Well,
or
Cobalt,
if you have the
technically.
bait on board.
But this is better for, like, the control strategies that
Yeah.
might need to use it earlier than
Exactly.
Andromeda comes out.
Exactly, and it taps stuff too, so it's effective like as a spot removal if.
It's never completely dead.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, it is if they don't have a field, but,
it's useful. I don't know if it might see text, but other than that,
I like it as a tech card.
It'll see play.
That's pretty cool.
It'll see play. So the last light card, Sintress. Blocker Skirmisher, will defends. One of those creature blocks gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn.
It's like,
More filler blocker.
wait,
More or less. I mean,
I can't remember if there's a card in this game that's 5 or 7 or not blocker. I might be thinking of Dual Masters right now.
you are thinking of Dual Masters.
Never mind. Alright, so this card is still sort of underwhelming though, because we have a 5 or 6 guy.
Yeah.
Which can crash with Lyra when you tap Lyra. I don't know, it's just...
Right. However, I mean, this does have the Enforcer going for it, but
yeah.
other than that, like, unless Enforcers get a lot of support and you need that 7,000 power blocker on a turn 5, then, I mean, it's not going to see play. And if it's tapped, it's not doing anything. It's not like it gets that boost whenever it battles. So.
Yeah, which would be alright. You just lose a Tornado Flame, which isn't really played, but this card is not the best, I think. Enforcers have support, but they're mostly focused on lower drops.
Exactly. So, cool card. Neat art, but other than that, not a lot going for it.
Actual standouts from Light mostly being, if you want to go over standouts real quick, I like Blind Beetle Prime is far and away the best card, I think.
Yeah. Best card. Ravu's going to see play. It's just it's a hype card right now.
Ravu's going to see play. Blind Beetle Prime is the best, and Blade Barrier and Repulse are like cards I think could potentially see Tex.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
And of course, Heliosphere.
Of course, Heliosphere. I mean, that's not even Light. It transcends civilization boundaries. For real.
So, moving on to water. Angler Cluster. More Undertow Engine support. So, 4 for 5 blocker. Guard. Your standard water 4-drop blocker. I thought we'd already had one of these. Frogzuka, yeah. So now
but if the Hydrobock Type Control is, if you're running that deck and you feel like you're running into rush decks, you might want to take this guy for the Undertow Engine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding you guys. Like, please don't listen to me when I say these things. You should know. This card is not that great.
Shoutouts to Undertow Engine support. I mean, you never know. If one day, 20 sets down the line, all of a sudden they release some crazy Undertow Engine evolution. And
I'd be excited for that.
This guy all of a sudden becomes
great.
The need to get common card from...
And Hydrobot Crab becomes even worse somehow. Because you just don't need it in that deck either now.
So, cool stuff. 4 for 5 blocker. This guy, underwhelming. I thought it was cool at first, but then I don't know. I mean,
he draws you a card and he always chump blocks. And he doesn't do anything besides that because he can't even attack.
It's just, I wish it wasn't a rare. It's just going to be one of those cards that I pull and I'm just not proud about.
I mean, this card would have been cool, but there's already cards that are like level 6 and have better effects, like the Battle Mages we're getting to later in the review that to draw you cards and are better.
Exactly. Like, I would have liked this a lot. I thought initially when I first saw this guy it was going to be a draw bounce card. It was going to draw you a card and then bounce a creature back.
That'd be really good.
Which I would have been really into, like block your guard, and just would have been cool, but sadly it's not. Returning itself to the hand is neat, but other than that, I don't think it's going to see too much play, if any at all. It's too high cost for what it is. So, Bladefish giving Heliosphere a run for its money here.
But not quite, so let's move on.
Sadly, just a 3 for 2 vanilla, so...
That card is awful.
What are you going to do? Yeah, sealed formats.
Alright, so we're finally getting into a good water card.
Yes, this card is great.
Cyber
you take the floor?
Well, what you got here is a card that pluses you whenever you get hit with removal. As long as it's a 1/1 removal, you're going in with like a Blaze Belcher, you drop this on turn 2.
Not even removal.
Well, anything. Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute, Carl.
Yeah.
And like, you first think about it in the term of Bone Blades. Like, you go in with Blaze Belcher on turn 2, you got this guy on board, hit a Bone Blaze, is a blast, gets rid of Scamp, and you just get another one from your deck. So it doesn't really do anything at all. So, like, is it even worth it at that point? It's still worth it in case you don't have any more in the deck, but but it's just so good that you just don't lose field presence at all. And, like, if they hardcast anything from their hand, like, if they play a Mesmerize on your turn 3 or their turn 3 or something,
you're just going to win.
You're just, like... They're wasting a turn and giving you an extra creature. You played 2 creatures that turn, probably. Like, that's just nuts. Like, this just so bad for them to Mesmerize. Or Logo Scan, or, like, anything. Just awful. Like, even Blast, like Crystal Memory, that, like, would usually be good. Like, they memory, and you get another creature on board before they even get their turn. It's really good.
And the art's sick, too, and it has great race support. Cyberlord, I mean, come on. Like, I don't know if it necessarily replaces Trader.
I would run them both.
But yeah, you run both. It's so good to go into Neuron with this guy, and then I mean, because they can't get rid of it if you drop this guy on turn 2 or effectively on your turn 2, and then they go to turn 3. They can't get rid of it. Like you're going to summon the Neuron the next turn, unless they have to mesmerize it out of your hand, like CBH said, and then you just have 2 on board anyways, effectively doing what you wanted to do with that Evo is get your +1. So it's just the card is really really good.
I'm excited for like Mono Blue Tempo Water Light, Water Fire.
Yeah.
A lot of decks get a boost with this guy.
I mean, this card's
Even
definitely
Blurple Tempo for real.
Yeah, this card's probably definitely like top 5 out of this set. Like it's going to be sought after. I think it's
Maybe, I
definitely one of the best rares,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and just an overall great card.
Deep Mind Probe.
Ooh.
I'm a fan of Search the Depths. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like if I had to choose between running Search the Depths and Logo Scan right now in Control, I'd probably run Search the Depths because it gets a turn 4 logos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This card is okay. It's better than Logos. I mean, it's better than Search in the fact that you don't have to put everything you see on the bottom. Like you get to keep some of it. Like you see like 2 good cards, and you don't have to always put them on the bottom. I just think the Search the Depths getting one more card deep is always going to be a little bit more relevant, personally. So if you have to run one, it's probably going to be Search.
Yeah. I just like the idea of like you're taking one, and then you're drawing the next one. It's like it's really good setup. It's just a really good setup card, and Shield Blast too has a lot going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, like you said, just getting the one card deeper is, if that's what you want. Like, technically, like, I like this card better than Search the Depths, personally.
We have arguments
But
about it all the time.
But yeah, like, getting that one card deeper, I can see where the benefit is there. But then you're putting all 3 of them down when you could necessarily, like, set up, like, on turn 3, you could set up your turn 4 and 5, especially in, like, an aggro-based deck.
Yeah, my idea with Logos is that
progressions.
if you compare Search Depths with Logos, you're getting one card deeper with Search, but if you compare this card in Logos, you get the same amount deep by your next turn. Like this card, you're getting one more card from the top 2, then like a third card, so you're getting 3 cards deep total. Logos, you draw 2, then you draw your third one anyway on your next turn, so it's like you'd probably rather play Logos from your hand because you're going to get all the cards you'd see with this card.
I guess, yeah. No, that's fair. You're right. So, the only thing this has going for it is Shield Blast in that aspect. So.
Cool Unlimited, I like it Unlimited, you get your answers and stuff.
But it's not going to see play outside of that. Finbar's Dreadnought.
This card is cool, I like it.
Yeah, very cool.
You can draw 2 cards when you play. That's the first. I was like, okay, all right, it has potential. I was worried it's like big cost water creature. I was like, it's got to replace itself, and it does. So that's good. And then,
nothing ever leaves completely. I mean, they have to root trap it or bounce it, which is
well, they can get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they do have to get rid of this guy. Okay.
But it's still okay because you're drawing 2, and they tear up at you, and you're still getting advantage off of that.
Yeah. So it's just kind of neat because it focuses them in on this guy when you might have other threats that they can't necessarily get rid of before they get rid of this guy. So it could make things very complicated for them.
Cyber complex,
complicated.
Like,
I get it.
yeah, I think this card is a sleeper card for real. Like,
yeah,
it looks not alright at first. Like, it seems like, oh, it's so big for so little, but you're
and we're so used
much.
to the water varies being terrible.
Yeah, but I really think this card is good. Like, it just makes things so awkward. It's like Saracon, except it also has an additional effect. And you don't have to wait to get the plus. Like, you get the plus as soon as you play it.
Yeah.
And then, like, it just sits there double breaking until you
that late in the game, like, you're focusing on getting to Tritonus or something like Andromeda, and you're running out of a hand to get yourself up there. This guy kind of replenishes you on that turn 8 to get you to your bigger finishers later in the game, which is really nice. And then if they don't deal with it immediately, you're dropping big threats after that, and then it's just really, you put your opponent in such an awkward position.
Yeah, if you don't deal with this immediately and they summon Andromeda or Tritonus, they can't get rid of those cards first anymore, which might be pretty crucial. They have to get rid of this guy, otherwise it's just going to go back to their hand and generate even more pluses.
Yep. So, cool card, and yeah.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Oh, I found out I have a next button, so we're going to start using that.
Oh, Lord.
Phase Scout. Hawkwind.
We're both reading the card. I can see it in our faces.
So it can't be blocked, and whenever it attacks, you choose another creature and it can't be blocked. So, neat.
There's a card like this in Magic that I drafted, which is pretty good because everything's a blocker, but in this game, not everything's a blocker, so it's not quite as relevant.
Right. I do like this card, though. I think Aquans have decent support as it stands right now, especially with Aquan Ranger.
Aqua Ranger Commando.
Aqua Ranger Commando, the 5-drop evolution that has unblockable. Like, this guy's kind of cool. Like, in an aggro deck, like, it could make things very interesting. I mean, blockers are definitely seeing more play now, especially in the early game. In controls like Strider and Lemon and Gloomhollow and all that to deal with rush decks, and they also pretty effectively deal with aggro, at least to ward the opponent off until they get to the turns when they can drop their finishers, like even like Wave Lancer too. And then this Phase Scout kind of gets you through all that. He's unblockable, so he breaks something, turns something else into unblockable to get through.
Let me just say I'd love a mat with that art. That'd be nice.
Yeah. The art is cool.
I don't know what the hell it is, but it looks nice.
It looks like he's kicking, and he's got some giant chew gun.
I don't know where you see a leg or a foot, but let's just keep moving.
What are you talking about? That's a whole leg right there. That's a leg.
That's a
And
foot. Why?
He's kicking.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was his head.
He's kicking.
Show them what I thought was his head. Right there. I thought that was his head.
I don't. Yeah,
I'm slow. I'm sorry.
Right here, where it says previous, I guess.
Well,
But yeah.
okay.
So now, yeah, that's it's. Is this
I've
the part
seen
where
that
we
car-
start kicking?
That should have been the flavor text. That may be the funniest thing you've said all night. Don't forget recon mission. Let's scroll up a little bit because I want to do like the water overview when we're done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I thought this card was a sleeper card. I talked about it a little bit, but then I was like, nope, never mind. It's just a bad logo scan sometimes.
yeah, I mean, it's they had a card like this in DM that cost 1 more mana, and it was.
But it was for every shield you broke,
It
you
was
drew
for every
2.
shield, right?
So like you could draw 4 by breaking 2 shields.
Right.
And this you just draw 2 by breaking 2 shields, and your creatures have to live until the end of the turn.
So it makes it's not great.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
like,
and
I
you-
would still play it in sealed, obviously. But
Yeah,
it's like,
it's a good draw card in sealed, but I mean, like people think that it'll see play in rush, and it's just a bad spell to have in rush. Like you want to drop. There's just no good time to play this card.
especially when you're top decking. You either want to be top decking an evolution or like a creature with value, and you're just top decking this and it's completely dead.
Yeah.
So as far as water goes, I think only 2 of them are actually going to see competitive play.
Yes.
Finbar's Dreadnought and Cyber Scamp.
Yep.
Probably Scamp more so because it has more hype, but I think Dreadnought's a sleeper card for control.
Oh yes, definitely. And the card has way too much potential, and Scamp's just too good. Like I said, one of the best rares in the set, and probably one of the best cards.
So 2 cards, and then some other stuff that's kind of neat and playing around with it.
Yeah. So getting into darkness.
I like this card. I don't know. I'm not like super on the hype train with it, but I can see where it has like nutty combos.
Yeah, it's got potential. I think in dark based aggro decks, like we've seen mono dark, it's just kind of had a version in every I guess every set that's come out. Mono dark has evolved a little bit, and I think this card is definitely going to be the next card that gets played in mono dark.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're not really focusing on this card with that deck, but even with a card like Giga Stand, you got that on the board, which is probably the best combo for this guy for real. Is this aggressive combo Giga Stand. You drop this guy, Giga Stand goes in, and it's a Seneschal and a Giga Stand. Basically, you just draw a card and a discard. That's pretty good for an aggressive deck like that. And like, you know, if you follow it up with something like a Fumes or you have Grudge Weavers on the board or something.
Cards, you've got Puppet right after this, so. Like, Puppet comes turn 6 right after him, so...
And, like, Mono Dark actually does run cards like Ripper Reaper. They can do that. So if you have, like, Grudge Weaver, which is a pretty normal card, you can just, like, Ripper Reaper, target your Grudge Weaver, they discard, you draw, and they get rid of a creature on board. Like, yeah, that's things.
It's very cool. It's got its place. I think it'll definitely see play in darkness-based aggressive decks like that, but other than that, I don't think it's going to see play outside of that. I don't think it warrants a spot in control just yet.
Probably not.
And then
unless it's a really heavily discard-focused control.
Yeah.
But you gotta think, with Maddening Whispers, this is a +4. No, it's a +3.
Yeah.
Like, you played Maddening Whispers, they discard 2 and you draw 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if a deck's running that, it's pretty nuts.
And we'll get to that one in a little bit. Dagger Doll. 4-drop, 2000 Power Slayer. We've seen this before. There's a Rotworm that's exactly like this. That card doesn't see play. I guess if Evil Toys get more support in the future, this guy might see play, but I don't see it happening. It seems like a filler card for the set, really.
I didn't even see this guy.
Yeah, it's not great. So
Slayers are awesome, though, and sealed, so...
Yeah, they're good. Good and sealed, and it's not going to see competitive play. Doom Blast Scaradorable. I like this card a lot.
Me too.
Me too! Me too! It's like, take Dark Scaradorable, a card that kind of fell off the map a little bit, and just completely revamp it and make it so much better. Like, I just like it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's huge, so 7 for 8 Double Breaker, so I'm already into that card. And then its effect is just really good. I mean, banish something, level 4 or less, so it's a Bone
I think
Blades.
there's a pretty good... Yeah, Bone Blades, there's a pretty decently competitive card that we've seen with that effect before.
Yeah. And then choose one of your opponent's shields and break it. So, I mean, it's got aggression going for it, it's got removal going for it, which is something aggressive decks, have to kind of find the balance in between. This guy does them both. And on top of that, he's a huge double breaking body. Like, that's great.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that card.
There's not a lot that deals with this. If you drop, like, if you're on the turn play and you drop this guy before your opponent hits turn 7, there's not a lot that deals with this other than Pit and just the major removal spells. Like, not, and I don't know if too much in control outside of like the turn 9 finishers that are bigger than this guy. So he's going to hit board and he's going to cause damage if they can't remove it immediately. And on top of that, he's got his come into play effects, which are just fantastic.
What do you feel in this guy in really? What do you feel in this guy being running? You think?
I don't know how much of a threat Dark Saberbolt is at this point, but it will definitely. I think if Dark Saberbolt
it fits in
kind of comes
the
back,
whole scheme of it.
Yeah, it'll definitely see play there.
I also like that sort of the Water Dark Nature aggro deck that
Yes.
Durkin and them ran with the squids.
Yep.
Like you can just because they run Bronze Arm Tribe, a little bit of ramp. You can ramp in this guy turn 6, which makes it just so much better.
Yep. So really good card. Really interested to see where this guy finds his place. I think, but it's definitely going to see play. I think anything that runs Darkness outside of like heavy control variants are definitely going to try this card, and it's going to cause a lot of damage, especially early and definitely later as it finds its way into more solid decks that kind of focus on it.
I like the effect name, Shattering Scream. I don't like how Ali's flavor text are always really derpy. Okay, Squeaky! Scream attack! Like, obviously, it's a scream attack. Gee, come on, guys. Pick better dialogue. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus.
Good times. Gaunt Bone Weaver.
Are you sure that's not Aunt?
You joking?
Do we pronounce the G? I'm not positive.
Gaunt is a word.
Okay. Well, Gaunt Bone Weaver. I thought it was a silent G.
Real cheese moving silence like gaunt. What?
Blocker guard, needle claws. Whenever it blocks, gives something -2,000 power until the end of the turn.
Kills things. Alright, sealed. You woo.
Yeah, really good and sealed. It could be awkward. Like if rush decks run into this.
Yeah, I mean it's awkward, but how many awkward cards really see play though?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the 3,000 power, it gets rid of almost everything Rush can throw at it outside of, like, the evolutions. And then it kills stuff, so, I mean, it could effectively drop 2 creatures if it blocks something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not the worst.
If it was a Never Was banned, it should be really good, because, like, Missile would punish it. Or this would punish Missile.
Yeah.
But, oh well, it's, like, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad,
terrible.
not great. I mean, 5 out of 10. It'll see...
I'll draft it in the cube.
Exactly. It'll see play. I think it might see play in competitive. I think people might try this guy in control initially, but I don't think it's going to stick around very long.
Ghost Bite's cool. It's like a Rock Bite, but better, so
yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, Shield Blast, -3,000 power, and yay.
I'm going to reserve Judgment, really, because I was, like, sort of not a fan of the power-decreasing spells last set, and they're apparently pretty good, like, even the ones we thought weren't good. Well, Soul Schism's kind of bad.
Right.
But, like, the other two, like, because they're Shield Blast and they're versatile, pretty good, so I'm just going to say this card has potential. It's, like, decent removal, I guess.
Yeah, the minus power is just, it'll always be useful. Like, if you're trying to do something. If you're trying to remove something, obviously with 3,000 or less power, you're good to go there. Otherwise, if you've got something that needs to swing over something, like you're opposing Tritonus on, like Tritonus versus Tritonus, this guy, like, Ghost Bite, yay.
The only problem is that it doesn't really, like...
And it's a Shield Blast, which is really nice.
Like, it's level 4 Dark Spell, and you gotta compare it to Bone Blades. Darkness spells have their work cut out for them, like battling with Bone Blades for, like, that deck space, and, like, Suffocate and Toxic Fog have merit, because they're, like, removal. Yeah, they can potentially mass removal. And so this has its work cut out for it, but it's still a pretty good card, and I'm sure people will break it. Cause
it'll see way too much play in sealed. Like, it's going to be, I mean...
Best kill card early game.
Best kill card early, and then other than that, I think it warrants testing in competitive, and we may or may not see this guy some more in the future.
Like, Mono Dark could maybe use it, like, in addition to Bone Blades, it's just, like, 8 Bone Blades, maybe.
Another Shield Blast
that
you utilize.
Smading Whispers.
This card.
Everyone was, like, freaking out, and then everyone was like, never mind.
Yeah, it's this card caused so many problems in the past for those of you who are old DM heads, and we complained about it.
It was level. The problem, it was level 4.
Yeah, and laws didn't exist.
Laws didn't exist, and you could run 4 copies of them, and it was just, it wasn't that good.
So effectively, what they've done for Kaijudo now, they nerfed it. It's a 5 mana. I mean, your opponent discards 2 cards. The only bad part is that Laws gets played before this guy.
Yeah.
Laws is a turn 4 card. This is a turn 5. I mean,
and I think another bad thing is that tempo is actually good in this game.
Yeah.
Like, you can play this against tempo. I mean, I guess it's good against tempo too, but like sometimes you just don't want to be playing a spell. It's like it damages a lot of the hand, but it's like it's not as broken because the only deck isn't control.
Right. And I mean, Even so, I think control. Like, I think we're definitely gonna see this guy in control. It's just way too hype right now. This card is actually pretty good. It's not. It's not the worst. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean just for the control mirrors, it's just
we're
so good.
underplaying it, but it's a really good card. And even if they do have laws out, I mean, they're still discarding one card.
The problem with that
So-
though is that they choose a card. It's basically like
It's
you're wasting your turn for them to
Right.
say, "I'll discard what I want and replace it." It's really good for them. It's
Yeah,
just-
I mean, it's effectively. There's no plus happening here if they have laws on board.
and it's
but-
not even a good one for one though because it's not random. They get to like choose whatever they want to get rid of, unless they're like holding one card that you think is insane or something.
Yeah.
But it's just not good against laws.
No.
But that's one of the balancing aspects of it. So,
I like the flavor text. It was your fault.
but like all the discard is good against dragons, good against control, good against some of the later game decks. I'm sure we'll see a lot of them.
If the laws isn't on board, this card is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, very, very happy to see this guy. See this guy come back. I think it'll do work for him.
Mark of Kalima. Is it good? No, not really. I mean,
So,
you can potentially nuke two things.
yeah. On top of, but the thing is, like, you gotta think, if this card puts Kalima on board too, like, you're effectively milling 5 cards.
No, you're not, because you have to choose one of the effects.
Oh.
Yeah, you're effectively not milling 5 cards
Oh.
or killing 5 things.
Well,
that'd be really good, actually.
Yeah, I've just never read the marks right then. So, there
Why,
you
you've
go.
always thought you got both effects?
Yeah.
You want to go back and tell us how bad Mark of Eternal Haven really is? It's pretty awful.
Pretty awful. God.
A cost spell. Draw a card, put a 7 or less in play.
My tummy hurts.
Alright, let's move on.
I'm just not.
Okay.
The art is amazing. Like, I love this. I don't know what that
This
thing
would've
is
been a
going on in
great-
the center there, but
soul-sucking vortex, and it would have been mass kill in my perfect universe. That's what I would have made that art.
yep. Kill everything. Who dares descend into my presence without an invitation?
Apparently only 2 cards in the top of your deck.
It's
Okay,
Well.
next.
next. Tigriff.
Next. Hey, it's Chimera.
Hey, yay, more vanilla
See,
stuff.
that's like the reaction to this card is like, up, next. Hey, it's a Chimera. Okay, still next. Like,
yeah, it's basically the Fear Fang for Chimeras. And Fear Fang did see play for a little while. I don't think this guy's going to see play because Chimeras have so much good support.
yeah, come on, they have
But-
Gloom Hollow on turn 3.
Yeah, on top of
And
Giga
Giga
Stand.
Oh, come on,
it's
guys.
just not. Sorry, Tigriff.
But it's okay. It's like a
You look
seal
neat.
card.
You like a little lion, other things with
I would want it
dragon
as a
wings.
pet if it didn't want to kill me, probably.
Yeah, looks like it shat. You see that? Alright, I'm moving on.
Okay, let's look at the dark cards. I think for darkness, we
Doom
got.
Blast sticks out the most.
I think Maddening Whisper sticks out the most for me,
Okay.
personally.
Well, yeah, Maddening Whispers and Doom Blast are definitely the top 2, and then I think the sleeper cards are Ghost Bite and Curse Eye Black Feather.
Yeah, mostly Curse Eye has the most potential. Ghost Bite could just fit into some things as a little removal spell, but as far as like meta-defining cards or meta-impacting cards, Doom Blast and Whispers specifically.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, that's 3 out of the 8, which is more than Water and Light gave us. So, for I guess initial reaction.
Yeah.
So, yay, more vanillas.
Dragon.
Draken. It's Draken. Kevin.
Kevin. Kevin's been he's coming back in the game when he gets back in town. He's getting stuff shipped to him. Shout outs to Kevin Holloway, protecting our country.
Protecting.
I don't even know because I don't know where he is, but he's doing something. So
He's
shout outs to
overseas.
Kevin.
He's overseas doing militaristic
Hope
things.
you're watching this, Kevin. Blaze Trail. What? Blaze Trail. Sorry. I was confused.
Gila Flame. Oh, so yeah, we get to hear more people say Gila Flame now.
I'm just gonna point. Is he doing the Tebow thing?
Looks like it.
Oh God.
No, he's not leaning. He's running.
Okay, good.
Even though like it doesn't look. I think that's what the fire was trying to symbolize there.
Good.
But,
Thank God.
shout
Not
outs to
thank God,
Matt Dixon. I almost said Matt Dix.
Dixon.
So Evolution Double Breaker, really big. I mean, 5 for 7,000. I don't know. Like obviously this guy's niche is going to be in Rush,
Niche.
but I don't know if for 5 mana if it's worth it. Like how often do you get to 5 mana and you just like.
Like I just don't know if its Hot Foot effect is ever going to be relevant. Like I just don't know if you really
Yeah.
want to return itself.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting that it can like run back if it doesn't want to die to something, but it's bringing the bait with it too, which means you're spending 6 to 8 mana
it's
to
just
drop
not,
it again.
Not productive in the decks you'd think it's good in. Like Heal of Flame, the Assaulter has a lot more
Yeah,
better uses.
I love that it's a double breaker, but so is laser arm.
If you evolve something you already have into play on like into this, and then you return yourself and get mesmerized, like that's gonna hurt. Or if you do this and return them both, and there's only 2 cards in your hand, you just get maddening whispers. Like that's just not okay.
It's neat. I don't know. It's a hype card. I think people are gonna try it and rush, and then realize that it's just not the greatest.
Yeah.
So rush will definitely stick to its ways. Cinderfist. I wanted this to be my 2-for-2 removal so bad. When I saw the art, I thought I was about to get it, and then nope.
He wants a level 2 spell that gets rid of something level 2 or less, or 2,000 power or less.
Yes, but sadly that didn't happen. Instead, we got Cinderfist, which lets you choose a creature, give it some power, and it can attack untapped creatures. So basically, what's that 2-mana card from Rise? That does this without the power boost.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. It's terrible.
I know it's art. No, it's not
Well,
terrible in the queue.
It's not terrible in the queue, but it doesn't see competitive play.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it's called. But there's a card that does this without the power. Someone will comment it down below if they're still with us. But for 1 less mana. And I think this card's going to see about as much play as that card sees.
Yeah,
So.
like if you need an effect like this, Overcharge is just better.
Yep. Magma Ram. I'd like it if it was 6 for 6.
Yeah, or if it was like... No, I probably still wouldn't... Oh, God. It's just like...
I mean, I really like cards like this. So I like
the
cards.
Polgash Dragon is a dragon.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was 6 for 6 with the come into play ability to banish a blocker,
it'd still be worse.
I'd be
than
into
Polgash
it, but it'd
Dragon.
still be worse than the dragon because dragons have so much support. But I'd like it better, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd run this card. Like, I don't think it's going to see play.
I mean, it's an uncommon double breaker and sealed though, which is pretty good, and it banishes blockers. So,
but Blade Rush Wyvern does it better, like for less mana.
yeah.
And you're dropping.
Not in sealed though.
You're dropping your finishers on the turn you want to drop them instead of this guy. Like he takes up the spots for your dragon finishers and your bolt tails and stuff that you want to be dropping around this time. So, like, I just don't think it's not going to see play. I do like cards like this though. I love tech cards like this for certain meta situations. But.
Use the next button. Alright.
Onslaught Trooper.
I like this guy. Never mind. I thought it was a different thing. I don't like this guy so much.
I don't think it's going to see as much play as people thought it was going to see initially. I like this card. Like, it's cool that it can attack and then untap and attack again. And it's cool that if, like, it's untapped and they lyre you, it kind of untaps itself, which is neat. So, I mean, they can't kill it via tap initially, and it could effectively break 2 shields, but I don't know, it should have been 5 for 5. It's going to be really, really difficult to deal with in sealed. Really difficult to deal with in sealed. Because I mean,
you can either like prevent yourself from being attacked over next turn, or you can break 2 shields if they have nothing out. So
and go for game, and just do crazy things like this. It's really good in sealed and subpar in constructed. Mm-hmm. So the very rare.
Use
for
the
fire.
next button. What's wrong with you?
I like doing it that way. More clicking. So this is a giant rock.
It's a volcano ship.
It's a volcano ship. Yay! But it's a creature. I don't like it. Oh.
Alright.
So 9 for 8, double breaker. So let's hope its effects can back it up. It can attack untap creatures. So
pretty solid.
Good. Yes, but also not a dragon. I think Morna does this better at this point.
Yep.
And whenever it wins a battle, choose one of your other creatures, and it can attack untapped creatures as overtapped. Kind of solid, kind of like that Aqua Trooper thing that we were looking at earlier.
There's not a whole lot of room for it.
No.
I like the Aqua Trooper a lot more because it replaces itself when you play it.
Wait, what?
No, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the thing that it's unblockable and attacks, and then gives something else unblockable that can attack.
No, I don't like
because that's effect.
Never mind.
That's
I
what I'm
thought you were
saying.
comparing it to the 8-drop water dude.
No, I'm comparing it to the thing that has an effect similar to this, where it can do something, and then when it attacks and does that something, it gives that something to another something. Hopefully they followed me through that. So.
I mean, I wasn't really listening too much, but
but it's a double breaker. I mean, 8 for 9. I just it's probably
it's not going to see him better play.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's not. It's probably one of the worst.
If you're on level 9, you are 1 turn away from dropping monarchs, and 1 turn after you were dropping like the nuttiest of dragons. So dropping this in the midst of all that is just like, why am I playing this card?
It's an interesting race though, an Inferno complex.
Yes.
So, kind of neat.
Big fire things.
Oh yes.
I like this guy coming up.
Sky Talon Harrier. Whenever it attacks, you choose one of your creatures, and it gets fast attack. So kind of neat.
Yeah, let's actually think about this, because I didn't think about it first. It's sort of like a mini Steam Tank Cron for those decks that don't run Steam Tank Cron races. Like, I don't know, you're just dropping this, and then you drop one creature next turn, and all of a sudden it has fast attack. Anything you might be dropping.
Yeah, I mean, it has to attack, though. That's a thing.
Well, this is going to attack, probably.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, this has to attack. Whenever
Yeah,
this
yeah.
creature attacks, you choose one of your other creatures and
But I'm
give
saying
it
in a
fast
deck
attack.
that you want your other creature to get fast attack, why wouldn't you attack with this, really?
Yeah.
Unless there's, like, some block around, but, like...
Right, but I don't know. Like, I like... Obviously, Steam Tank's better, because it just gives that thing fast attack, and you get to choose your attack order. But the thing is, this guy has to attack first to get something fast attack.
But you're getting fast attacks on turn 5 instead of turn 6, which is nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll see play. I think in aggressive decks, I think...
Water, Fire, Light, something like that.
Water, Fire, Light, Water, or Fire, Water, Nature, if that deck comes back again. It's neat. I think it has merit. It'll see play. I just don't know whether it's going to stick around or not. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10 right now. It's okay. And then Sledgehammer Slammer.
Wow.
That was annoying.
Speakers going hammer. Slammer, slammer, slammer. Getting this card off the screen. Oh, God.
It's yay for more vanilla-ish things. Slam, bam, wham! The way of the hammer.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, the past. It all full circles,
you were going to
guys.
say it.
Oh,
Alright, so
Jesus
Fire, I
Christ.
think, has been the most disappointing so far.
Yeah.
Like, go
there's-
down a little bit.
There's just not a lot going on for it. Onslaught Troopers, maybe the best fire card in the set right now.
I just don't think any of these are going to see competitive play. I think people are going to try Blaze Trail and be depressed. I think people are going to try Sky Crusher and realize it's not good as other finishers. Sky Talon's my favorite personally out of the set, and it's
Yeah.
just not even...
An Onslaught Trooper will see play, but I just don't know where
Yeah.
it doesn't really have a spot. Like, Stomper's a terrible race, and the 4,000 power is just not great.
Honestly, Fire kind of, sort of, the short end of the stick here, but I think it's about time. It's
Shafted, yeah.
It got some good cards in recent sets, so I'm not really upset about that.
Yep. Alright, moving on to our last civ before we get to multi-civs.
Woo!
Nature.
Dawn Giant!
Yay!
Woo!
Nature's very. So, Upheave. Whenever it attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a creature, this creature gets plus 6,000 power and triple break until the end of the turn.
So
very,
it's big.
very underwhelming.
Yep. Oh, the art is going to look so good hollow, though. I wish it was good. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
I love
Come
seeing
on.
old art.
But this hollow, though, is going to be so pretty.
It's going to be really pretty, but it's not great.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dawn Giant.
Swag.
Tears.
Let's get it off Steam Tank. That's fast attack and triple breaker.
This
Tears.
guy's
Okay.
cool. I like this guy. 3 for 3, and whenever it attacks, your other beastkins get plus 2,000 power.
Looks like old Deuteronomy. From Cats.
No. Okay. Some people get that reference.
Maybe.
But I like this card. I like it a lot. I think Beastkins... Beastkins are obviously good on their own right.
Beastkin
and this
is
guy-
already plural. pretty sure.
Beastkin are already good in
Yeah.
their own right. Okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, a 3 for 3 body with an effect. I mean, this guy replaces Fear Fang and makes everything huge when it swings.
Oh, I didn't know it was 3 for 3. I thought it was 3 for 2.
No.
Tears for Fear Fang.
Yeah, so, I mean, this guy's... I like him a lot. I think it'll definitely see play. I think people will try, like, Beastkin aggros. Because Sabretooth is, well, to my knowledge, always be a threat, so...
Yeah, that seems like it, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's 9,000 power, too, so...
And it's just more 3-drop bait to go into Sabretooth with, so... Really good card. Like it a lot. Drawball Keeper.
Not so good.
This art is
Awesome.
really awesome. It's sadly a 4 for 4
Do we
vanilla.
know if that was DM art? Because it looks like magic art, and that excites me.
Right?
I enjoy when things look like magic art, for real.
Yeah, I just don't know. It just looks too realistic for I mean, obviously not realistic, but it just looks too like
Intense. Not intense.
cartoon.
We're going to find a word for this eventually.
Yeah.
It sort of takes away from the... There's a lot of kid art, let's be real.
Yeah.
And this isn't that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, it's still a cat, so it's cute, but, like...
It's cute.
You'd
You'd pet it.
I mean, maybe.
It's dreads.
It's dreads.
It has dreads, Christian.
Those aren't dreads.
Those are dreads.
Those are not
How
dreads.
are those not dreads?
Those are like tiny braids. Do you know what a dread is, Carl? Have you seen dreads? You whitey. Let's go to the next card.
Vanilla card, guys. Move on.
We should talk a lot about
Monstrify. Choose one of your creatures, gets plus 4,000 until the end of the turn.
Like, I like this card, and I don't know why. I don't think it's going to be good and constructed, but I still like the idea of it, like, sealed. I don't know.
It just makes things big, so yay for that.
Like, I think it'll be randomly cool and sealed.
It should have been a 1-drop. I don't know why it's 2 mana, but whatever. Moving on. Ninja Pumpkin.
This card is alright.
This card is pretty good. While it's tapped, each time your opponent's creature attacks, it has to attack this guy. So, you tap this guy against Rush, and then all of a sudden, Rush can't do anything until they get rid of this guy.
Until they summon Laser Arm Dracon.
Yeah. Well, they need Laser Arm Dracon, and they need either Heal of Flame or the, what's the other one? Oh, I forgot his name. Burnclaw to bump with it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think there's answers for it. I don't know if it's going to be a realistic answer to Rush, because most decks running Nature do run other civs.
Yeah, and the race support isn't there for it yet. And, I mean, it's cool. It's really cool looking. I like the idea of a pumpkin ninja.
Vegetable
Vegetable
evolution.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry.
So, Hack-O-Lantern. Cool effect. So,
You call that an attack?
Cool card. May or may not see play. We'll see. I'm leaving it at
Probably not so
probably
far.
not, yeah. Oh, this guy looks really cool. Striding Hearthwood. It's got a bunch of dragons in its fro. You see that?
Things you didn't really think you'd ever say. It's got a bunch of dragon in its fro.
It's killing one. It's like strangling the hell out of one. The rest are just kind of like puking out of its fro.
This card is Erica Badu.
Look at his chain. It's got a freaking birdhouse chain necklace. Dude, what is going on with this card? This card is 2-pin.
Well, when it wins a battle, it sends the creature to mana instead of being banished, so it seems pretty awful.
Yeah, no, that's bad. I mean, 6 for 7 double breakers, so not the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid power ratio.
Yeah. And then it's just effect is meh.
Its effect makes it worse, but...
Yeah. And burn that walking treehouse to the ground.
General Sky Crusher said. Because you didn't read it.
Transforming Totem. So, more Spirit Totems.
More cool art. I like the art.
Yeah.
Swag.
And when it enters Battle Zone, you put a card from your hand into your Mana Zone. So, something I wouldn't necessarily want to do at turn 5. Obviously,
yeah, it goes in your Mana Zone instead of being banished, so it's like a more expensive Karate Carrot with less power, so I'm not a huge fan.
Mana Storm does it better.
Even Karate Carrot does it better. I think.
Tears.
Yeah.
Wild Growth.
Okay,
So a card that I was wondering when we were going to see. I know, like, we always get cards like this, like just random filler cards, but more just like I wanted a card like this that was mana from the hand. Not wanted, but I just had a feeling it was going to happen eventually.
Oh yeah, we wanted it so bad.
I'm just saying, I just knew it was going to. I was just wondering when we were going to get something like it, all this from the hand Mana Zone crap. Like, this card's terrible, guys. Don't run it.
Let's talk about nature. What do we
Oh yeah,
have from
nature. The power
Nothing.
Power plays here are Headstrong Wanderer. I think it's definitely going to see play.
And then that's it.
And then Ninja Pumpkin, I think will see play initially, but after that,
I just really don't think it'll see playing constructed.
So we got hardly anything from Fire and Nature.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really do like Headstrong Wanderer. I like this card a lot. I think it'll see play. All right, multi-sieves. Yeah, multi-sieves. Calamity Bell. This is the spell that's coming out in the Solar Eclipse deck.
I told Carl I like this card, and he thought it did something else, but then I was like, it does this, and then he was like, oh, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I do like this card. I think it could be like a tech 1 or 2 of in control decks. It just sort of shuts down Rush a lot of the time. He taps their board, and like the entire board, and you're discarding cards, so like even when you're using it in the control mirror, if you have to like clear laws off the board, it sort of negates their draw effect. Like they have to randomly discard and they get to draw, so you're not really giving them any advantage. Then you get to tap their board and kill their guys. So.
And it's a Shield Blast, so
which
winner,
is obviously
winner.
the reason, yeah.
Chicken dinner.
I like this card. I like this card.
Yeah, I do like this card. I like this card a lot. So
Swag.
good stuff, and the art is just
Nice again.
really, really cool.
Another hit.
Kind of creepy, but really cool.
I like creepy.
Glimmer Gloom Quartz. So looks like we're getting a quartz for each of the multi-sieves that basically give the power to each of their respective sieves. So,
Looks like I know what I'm running in sealed.
oh yeah, so yay, more quartz shenanigans. We saw them run amok at Gen Con, and they'll definitely run amok at our sealed events for the set premieres. So looking forward to that.
Amok.
Lost Patrol.
This is an insanely large amount of power. So.
It is. More vanilla, large guys. I think every Civ got one of these in clash, and now all of the enemy civs are going to get them as well.
Yeah, people have an inkling to run like a light dark sort of a an aggro deck.
Yeah, 5,000 power monster. Yeah, this guy will get it done for him. And the civs are the
Races.
The races are underwhelming. Storm Patrol Spectre, we don't have too much support in those yet as far as evolutions are concerned, but cool nonetheless. And I think it's a card that'll definitely get better as these races get better and get more support. So looking forward to that. And 3 for 5,000, never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Serpents.
Space
Shared shifter.
It's a dragon, so you know it's gonna see play in something. To be
And
honest.
guys, heads up. If it has double dragon race, it doesn't get -2 for birdsong. Just throwing that out there.
Who said that?
I've read it. I don't know names, but it only gets the -1 on birdsong, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to put that.
Wouldn't that be something though?
Yeah,
That'd be nuts.
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Ugh.
But yeah, double breaker. I mean, 6 for 6 or 7 for 6,500. Double breaker. So let's see if its effect can bring up for its misfortune and attack power. Whenever one of your other creatures is banished, you may put the top card of your deck into your shield's face down. So
They're getting rid of this guy first.
forces them to deal with this guy first. So another really awkward card, kind of like the Fortress from Water. What was the card? Fortress something. Finbar's Dreadnought.
Yeah, again, this guy doesn't replace himself, but he can because Nyx exists. So you can Nyx and like, oh god, I saw the cool comment. I want to share it. Lux in this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, because even if they try to tear but you just banish Lux instead, then you get a shield. That's dirty.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
dirty. Oh,
Wow.
shouldn't have said that. That was dirty.
Oh god, and you can go Serpent Nyx.
You mean
Or
Lux
Nyx, and then no, you can't do it on. You gotta wait till turn 5, but that's
It's dirty though.
that is
You're
dirty.
drawing a card, you get in the Lux kill, you get your own shield. Oh, it's dirty.
Yeah, especially since people want to kill Nyx now before they kill Lux.
Now you can't deal either of them because
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna kill Lux by accident, but
This guy.
I can see like
this
the Water
guy's
Dark
got
Light
a
Dragons
lot of
coming back.
potential.
I mean,
Wow.
just because Lux just apparently exists, so you can do those cool
so
things.
Probably again one of the top 5 cards to come out of it.
Well, I
out
don't
of
know,
the set.
like top
And-
7 or 8. I don't know.
And this card comes in the Solar Eclipse deck.
Well, shine my shoes and let's go to the next card. All right.
Alright, so very cool stuff there.
I like this card. It's like my favorite card of discard of the new set.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
this card.
it's basically better fumes, and
Yeah.
the civs are just
So much
like-
better fumes.
It
And it's
fits
sort
in
of
perfect.
relevant because there are the 2,500 guys coming out in this set like Falcor, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
But it's tainted. Oh god. Didn't realize that was the effect name.
Taint. Oh boy. But yeah, more random discard does exactly what Fumes does, but 4 for 2,500.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just like, I couldn't keep it in.
Alright, so quick rant. If you're discarding cards randomly,
Yeah.
please do it with the die. Don't just flop the card. If you reach for my hand, I will punch you in the face. Like, no. Like, don't just drop this gun on the table and then reach your hand over the table. We're gonna have a problem. Like, we're gonna use actual random methods here.
This card's got really cool art.
Yeah, it's alright.
I like it. Alright, moving on.
I like the effect a lot. Stingwing!
Stingwing!
Oh, God!
It's an Enforcer and a Brainjacker. So I saw 2 for 4,500 and about shat myself, but then realized it's a blocker skirmisher, and if it wins a battle, you banish it. So
Blocker skirmish would be pretty good,
yeah.
but when you win a battle and banish, it's like, yeah.
Skirmisher's cool. I mean, it's like right there. It's better than a Skeeter Swarmer. Like, I mean, Skirmisher
I just think
sets
decks
it
that
apart.
use this will probably just be running Aqua Strider.
Yeah, but the Skirmisher definitely sets it apart, and I think if you need more 2-drop blockers and 4,500 becomes like a need, then I mean, it's good. It's got a place. So
We do rally decks.
yeah, I'll take it.
For real rally decks, though. Torkisher.
Sounds
Stay
gross.
gunk up. Whenever it's banished, tap target enemy creature. It's sort of decent. It's
Yeah.
an enforcer, so saving itself. I haven't really thought about this card too much, to be completely
No,
honest.
I mean, Enforcer definitely has the race support, and then 3 for 1,500. I mean, not the worst, especially since it has Slayer too, which sets it apart. And then if it dies, you get that extra effect, so you can kill more stuff if you have more stuff on board, or just use it to get by stuff. I mean, if if Darkness Light becomes like an aggressive sort of deck or finds its way into the aggressive meta,
Yeah.
then I mean this definitely he has a place. So shout out to Targusher.
Indeed.
And I think that does it. Nope, we got Zoltar the Mercenary.
Swag. Zoldar.
So,
Kevin.
So more of the
Battle mages.
Battle Mage idea. This guy's 6 for 3,000.
I was so excited for these guys when I thought the light one was going to give everything, or like I thought it was going to tap something.
Yeah.
Basically, because Homunculon does.
Yeah, we thought the effects were going to carry through from Clash, but they changed up the effects completely.
At least in a little bit. I like the new Dark one a lot. Your opponent choosing as guards a card that's better than I think giving something Slayer a lot of the time.
Yeah, and then hold the line. I mean, all your creatures get blocker until the start of the next turn, which isn't the worst.
It has merit. I
Not
just
the
don't
worst.
think it's going to see a whole
I
lot
just
of play.
wish it was 5 mana like the rest of the Battle Mages. I think they, I mean, the 6 mana, I guess, is to make it not that great, and they effectively made it not that great. So
that's pretty much that. Not that great, but it's cool. So
I think
light dark. I think there's like a few good things. Like we're getting to the good cards now.
There's a lot. I mean,
3 cards that I think will be competitive play. The 3 will be Spire Puppet, Serpents, and Calamity Bell.
Definitely.
My favorites.
And then we've got some aggro-based cards like Lost Patrol and Targrusher. The blocker's not terrible. I think the courts will see about as much play as they've seen when Clash came out, which is almost nothing. And
But still really cool for like all kinds of sealed and limited formats.
And like we just talked about Zoltar, it's okay at best.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But the 3 that are good are really good.
Yes, and the one that kind of the 2 that kind of fall off, Lost Patrol and Targrusher, definitely have their place, and we might see them more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Firelight.
Battle Mage gives everything blocker, which is cool for a deck with fire. I guess fire blockers. That's random.
And
which
then,
we have more of actually, but.
And then if we got my Banish 2,000 power or less effect, too bad it's on a level 6 creature.
Swag.
So.
But Carl, you can bottle into it.
Cool looking card. It's like a wolf with a dragon coming out of its head.
Didn't know where you were going with that.
I had no idea.
There's not a whole lot to say about this guy, so.
Yeah, it's just another battle mage. Yeah, it may or may not see play.
I don't like how one of the races is always not relevant. Like the other one's an Enforcer Spectre, and this one's an Enforcer Attack Raptor.
Attack Raptor.
Like those races aren't really doing much.
Attack Raptor.
Enforcers are, but. Was that Rock Lobster? Lock Lobster. Lock Lobster.
Oh no. On to probably one of the best cards to come out of this set. I think this card's going to see a lot of play, and it will continue to see a lot of play for as long as these 2 civs are relevant, which will probably be forever because all the civs are always relevant. Jew. Blitzer Mech Volkara, we talked about it in the Rush, I guess, spotlight that we did on the channel a couple days ago. Fast attack, and it has a shock and awe effect where whenever it swings, tap something. So effectively shutting down one of your opponent's blockers every turn. It's fast attacks, so they're never safe under 1 blocker with no shields. 4 for 25 is just big enough to be annoying.
But also, thank God for Spire Puppet bumping with it for control decks.
Yeah, exactly. And
Saving
that's
grace
exactly where we were going to go with that. Yeah, Spire Puppet has a hidden value there for dealing with Blitzer Mech. So, really, really good card. We can't talk about it enough. It's
Firelight Rush is going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most hyped cards to come out of the set, and for good reason. It's going to be a monster in sealed. Anybody who pulls this is just going to be immediate threat. So, this card's too good. I like it a lot.
When we say too good, we don't mean too good. Unless we do mean too good, we only mean that with like bottle and laws.
Right, of course. But I mean, the card is good. Like one of the better cards to come out of the set.
Flame Wing Phoenix.
It's a Firebird.
Yeah.
So yay for more Firebirds.
And it goes to your shields and has powerful attack.
So not
so
the
it's
best.
not the greatest for offense and not the greatest for defense.
And we'll move on.
Yeah.
Metal Max. 2 for 3,500.
All right, that's respectable.
It's kind of cool, and it's an enforcer.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I wish, like, because I think Firelight's still going to be running the Dracon engine if they're running an engine, period. I don't even know if they're going to have room for an engine because there's a lot of good fast attackers. So maybe this will see play in Firelight Rush. I would probably run it if I could. I just wish it had Dracon. But
yeah. If it had Dracon, I think it'd be too good. But that enforcer kind of, it makes me happy because you think, like, going back to Blinder Beetle Prime, like, you want to put Blinder Beetle in, like, an aggressive deck as well. Like, it fits in, it has its place in control if you're Enforcer heavy in control.
I don't like it in control.
It has its place in in Monolite Rush, obviously replacing Halon. But then if you want to put it in an aggressive deck as well, like something mixing civs, like with fire and with water or with nature, like Metal Max fits perfectly into that if you're mixing with fire. Just, 2 for 3,500 beat stick that kind of carries the weight until you drop Blinder Beetle on it and just go nuts. So I like this card a lot. I'm a fan of this vanilla guy. Next, Plasma Pincer, Skyweaver Melt Warrior. I think is this our first Skyweaver?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I mean,
That's another powerful attacker. So 3 for plus 4,000. I'm noticing that a lot. Like a lot of these cards, their effects kind of carry through. Like all these cards. Like Water had a ton of draw effects. Nature had a ton of mana effects. Like Light had a ton of shield regeneration. Like all these cards are doing a lot of the same thing. Fire's got a lot of powerful attack. And then its other effect at the end of each turns untap this creature. So he's going to be really, really annoying in sealed. And kind of a bitch to deal with in constructed. At least early game. Like you drop this guy on turn 3. I can't think of too much that's going to deal with this guy up to like turn 5. Like I think he'll be on board for like 2 turns, just being a problem unless they Bone Blades it.
I just don't know. The 3-drop spot's getting kind of full, so like I'm not super feeling it in constructed.
I mean, it just reminds me of cards like Luki Lex from DM, like that just are annoying because they untap and they get huge when they swing and they're just really difficult to deal with. But I mean, here in Kaijudo, we've got a ton of weenie removal in the form of like Bone Blades, Toxic Fog, and stuff like that. So maybe not the best card. It's okay. I just don't know how much play it's gonna see. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just don't know. Prototype Gunship.
I like this card initially because it's a blocker and it's fire, so fire blockers are always cool.
Yep. And then the effect, if it's banished, you banish something 2,000 power or less. So, once again, screw rush decks.
Yeah, this card is actually pretty good. Like, for real, it's a lot better than the other one. Like, I do think this will see play in things.
Yep.
Not sure what things, but things. Probably, like, control decks and your early blockers. Because, like, you can't really Bone Blaze this guy.
You can't Bone Blades it, you can't Comet Missile it. Like, it just kills random stuff.
Like, even against more controlling decks like Control or, like, Dragons, like, they get rid of this guy, like, randomly you have to chump block with this, you get rid of a Nyx or Lux. It's pretty good, so.
Yeah, very good.
Or Gloom, so I'm a fan of this card.
And Storm Patrol Stopper, so potential support in the future.
But irrelevant right now, but it's alright. So.
Yeah. The Quartz for Fire. Light.
Looks nice. Yep.
More cool stuff.
It's infused with the spirit of a blinding meteor.
Exciting.
You don't sound excited, Carl.
Sunstrike!
Woo! You can choose a target enemy creature. If it has power 5,000 or less, banish it. Otherwise, tap it and does not untap at the start of your opponent's next turn. What we have here is a Tornado Flame that costs 1 more. But if you can't Tornado Flame something, you just tap it down for a turn.
Yep, and it's a Shield Blast.
Yeah, I like it.
Shout outs to Shield Blast. I like this a lot.
Yeah, this happens on your opponent's turn as a Shield Blast, and it's tapped on your turn, and it's tapped on their next turn. It's just tapped for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah,
so that's pretty good.
Like
people might actually forget about it. Don't forget about that. You tap down something on your opponent's turn, you take your turn, then they go, and they do not untap, because it says that on the doesn't untap of your opponent's next turn. Does not untap. It's pretty crazy. Yep. So I like this card.
Yep, like it a lot.
I'm a fan.
Good stuff. Good way to finish out the Firelight. So Firelight got a ton of stuff that I like a lot. Blitzer Mech, obviously one of the
best card in this sort of in this section of the set.
Yeah.
My favorite after that is probably Prototype Gunship, and then Metal Max and Sunstrike coming in as playable cards.
Oh, indeed. So the 4 there. Definitely.
4 out of how many? Is that 8 cards? Is it 8 cards?
Yeah, it's 4 out of 8.
Alright, so 4 out of 8 is a pretty good ratio as far as like actual constructed playable cards. It's something you gotta.
Because we had almost 5 in Dark Light. So.
Yeah.
So moving on, Fire Water. Aqua Trooper, XJ3.
It's an Aquan that goes back to the hand, but if you're running fire, you're running better civs than Aquans, so...
Yeah, and it's just 5 mana so much, I don't like it at all.
Run it in sealed probably every time.
Yeah, but sadly, that's all it's going to see playing. Flame Spitter. It's interesting to see the art for a spell turn into the art for a creature. I'm kind of into that.
Yeah, I like this guy, by the way.
Yep,
He's pretty solid.
More Undertow Engine Burn Belly support.
Probably the best Undertow Engine ever so far. Like, it's just a really good card.
Yeah. Fast attack, which is...
Like, actually a really good card.
Very good.
Like, Fire, Water, Rush.
Yeah.
Cyber Scamp and this guy. like turn 4 fast attack and you're drawing. Seneschal into this. Anyone? Neuron into this? Guys. Come on. Run this card.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. I'm a big fan. And the art is just very cool. Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Flame Vent Diver.
Vanilla 2 for 3. Not bad, not as good as Metal Max.
Not as good. I mean, it's a Dracon, so
Which
it has
is
that
nice.
has that going for it for fire light or fire water shenanigans. But other than that, I don't know. The art's cool. It's like a mermaid Dracon thing.
Yeah, it looks like a tiny school of Scourge.
Well, yeah, 2 for 3. Good for a Dracon, and again, it's just right there, perfect for the evolutions for Neuron, Laser Arm. I always forget the other one. Burn Claw. So,
Swag.
good stuff. I like it.
Frost. This is sweet art.
Yeah,
Frostburn
I
Quartz.
love this art. I have a Japanese Duel Masters card with this art, and I always want to know what it did. So for now, I'm just gonna assume that it did this,
Which it didn't, but
which it
who
didn't
cares?
at all. But cool stuff.
Yep.
Very very cool art. Like I mean, I love the semblance, like the right down the middle change in colors. Like too cool. Very very good. And it's the quartz for Water Fire. So,
Swag.
Yeah.
Krasic's the Volatile.
Terrible.
Is it? I don't even.
This card's not great.
Oh yeah,
It's
this is bad.
overrated.
Everyone's freaking out about it too.
Yeah, when you
Whatever.
draw a card, powerful attack plus 2,000, so yay. And if it has 12,000 or more, it has triple. So, I mean, you have to Logos to, I guess, get the triple break. But, nah, I just don't know. I don't like it. Like, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't net you anything on board other than a body that has to wait to swing. So,
Blur.
yeah.
Maybe Riptide Champions, Blaze Champion gets more support in the future, then it'll be playable, but
Until then.
Boss and Seal.
Yeah,
Obviously.
the card is nuts looking. Like it looks like it should do more than what it does, but sadly it does not. So I like that its effect is just massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive. That's what she said.
Not to you.
Damn. Marblurpa, the weaponsmith.
Marblurple.
Marblurple. I think they're communicating with you, Christian. Wizards.
That's so awful.
That was pretty bad. The weaponsmith. Oh, they're talking to you. You're the weaponsmith. You create stuff. You're the deck doctor.
You stop.
No, this card symbolizes
the
too
chair.
much. It's an Earth Eater and a Dracon for level 6. It's the Battle Mage. Ingenuity, when it enters the battle zone, draw a card, so it replaces itself. And then, as well, when it enters the battle zone, banish something 2,000 power or less.
It's a potential for +2.
Potential for +2. I mean, it could see play.
Media Source sucks now.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I mean, it could see play. It's probably one of the only battle mages that I think will probably see the most play.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
other than that, I mean, it's underwhelming. For level 6, I just wish it was 5. If it was level 5, it'd be so much better. They'd all be so much better, but and yet not broken. So I don't know where the idea for 6 came from, but I don't know. I'm a somewhat fan. It's okay. Shoo. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm done talking about it.
Scalding Surge.
But yeah, it's not awful.
No.
It's a 10-ton... No, it's not. It is a rock bite. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was saying something else. It is a potential rock bite, and if you can't rock bite it, it's a Veil Vortex. So it doesn't do 2 things, but it can do either one, depending on
I
what you
think
target.
Piercing just outclasses this card completely, even though the Sieves,
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
has light going for it versus fire, but I just don't. I
But
don't
if you're
think it's
running a Fire Water Rush deck, I'd probably run this before like any other spell besides Calm Missile.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Because it just deals with anything on the board.
Yeah, I
Like
guess
you're
it's better
killing
than
Gloom
that.
Hall or you're killing small blockers, but you're bouncing like other things that might be a problem.
So do you have to do the 3,000 power first thing, right? Like if
Yeah,
they
if it
have
is 3,000 power, it has to be bad.
So
You
you
can't
can't-
just bounce a Grudge Weaver.
that blows.
Well, it's like Rock Bite, but better. And Rock Bite's already not awful.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like at times, like you gotta think there'd be stuff I'd rather bounce. Like, oh, I guess I get to choose a target enemy creature, so I guess it's not the worst. I was under the assumption.
No.
In my brain for a second, I was like, oh, if he has something 3,000 power and a freaking Andromeda on the board, I can't bounce it.
No, the first thing you do is choose an enemy creature.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. So not the worst. I was thinking it was worse than it is, but cool. I mean, it might see play.
I'm not
Not the
fan,
worst.
sort of.
It's there's just like dudes in this surge. You see that?
Why did I get so excited?
Dude's on fire.
Actually, yeah.
This dude is on fire. That's a song, right?
But it's this girl is on fire.
Oh.
Did you not know that? You thought it was this dude's on fire?
Know,
Holy God.
I don't use
Carl, Alicia Keys.
We're moving on. Last firewater guy. Unstable Rockhound. Looks
Nice art.
Yeah, very cool.
Sounded sarcastic when I said it, but I really
looks
do
like
like it.
it looks like a Cerberus. I think it's got 3 heads.
I actually hadn't read this guy before just now.
So
It's Ite.
yeah, I mean you banish it and you return something to the owner's hand. So
Really good and sealed.
not the worst.
Really good and sealed.
But again, like you said, it's vying for that level 3 spot. So don't know how much play this guy's actually going to see in constructed, but really good and sealed. I'm a fan.
Swag.
So Firewater has a lot going for it actually. Flame Spitter being really good.
5 Flame Spitter. Shout out to Birdman and Young Money Records.
Flame Vent Diver also pretty good. It holds it down for the Dracon 2-drop. If it was Cyberlord, it'd be nuts. Oh my god.
Scalding Scourge, okay. Scalding Scourge. Scalding
Surge.
Dear God, what did I say earlier?
Scalding Scourge.
Lock Robster.
Lock Robster.
I'm just picturing Rob.
God. More Blurple, the Christian, is okay.
No, he's not.
And
He's alright.
Unstable Rockhound is okay.
Competitive play, I think Flame Spitter's the best, far and away.
Oh, of course. And then Flame Vent Diver and Scalding Surge to back them up in those civs. And then More Blurple and Unstable. Bringing up the rear. So, my favorite civ combination, getting to the Nature Water, Joust Earth Power.
Womb Blorden.
Bloom Warden. Cybervirus for level 3, so it's got race going for it. It's a blocker right off, which is
Cybervirus. What are you talking about, race?
Oh, Cybervirus. I thought Cyberlord. Never mind. Race does not have anything going for it for race. So
you know something I don't about cyberviruses?
Blocker guard and has a limit effect when it would be banished. You put it in your mana zone. So 3 for 4, good blocker.
Water Dark Nature is going to make use of this.
Yes, I'm a fan of this card. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So
people complain that it's worse than Lemon, but it just fits in different decks. You know, deal with it.
It's worse.
To be
The
honest.
art is really nice.
Yeah, this card next coming is kind of terrible. It's like Grip, but it wishes it was Grip.
Yeah.
It's like you read it and you think it has something going for it that Grip doesn't, but it really doesn't.
No, it just puts it in the mana zone.
Like Grip already bypasses cards like Lux because it returns first.
I mean, it's great that like if their opponent doesn't have a hand, you're effectively just root trapping something.
But it's still not as good as Grip.
It's just not as good as Grip, and
you don't need to settle. You already can run root trap. You're running Nature.
And you got to think decks that would use this kind of card would be more control based decks, and they're going to run Darkness. So if you need the spot, Grip just beats it out there. So
yeah,
it's just not the greatest. The art's amazing. I love God, I just love these Water Nature cards. Like it's so cool, very refreshing.
Kivu.
One of my favorite varies to come out of this set, right next to Blitzer, the Ingenious Shaman. Cybervirus Spirit Totem, Double Breaker, and the Mana Guide ability. We've seen it. We've known what it does for a while. Return something from your mana zone back to your hand, and top card of your deck goes into your mana, so you don't disrupt progressions. You get a giant 7 for 7 Double Breaker out of this. And if anything went down in mana earlier that you want back, as far as finishers or Skull Shatter or just anything you want to drop after turn 8, like it's just, or after turn 7, this guy just gets it done for you.
Replacing the mana is really good. It's probably the reason it's going to see a lot of play. People think this card is bad, and they just, I don't know.
Oh my god, it's really good. Like I think any deck that utilizes these 2 civs is definitely going to play this card. Just because of how useful it is. It doesn't disrupt anything, which is what makes it so great. Like you can put it in a fire of water nature deck and not disrupt your progression to Bolt Tail. You can put it in dark water nature control decks and not disrupt your progression to Shatter. Like it's so good. I like it a lot.
It's gonna look sweet as a hollow too.
And it's just a huge body that just on top of whatever you're getting back that your opponent knows is about to like ruin their day, they have a giant body staring them down that they either need to deal with or need to deal with what you just got back. So
7 for 7 with good effects is always nice to see.
Yeah, very good card. Love it. Lore Strider.
Don't hate this guy. Upon reading him more, he's pretty good.
Yeah. 4 for 4. It's a Cyberlord, so has race going for it.
Now it does.
Now it does.
Not that you really want to evolve it.
Whenever it attacks, draw a card. So Seneschal effect, not the worst.
4 for 4 Seneschal. That's a fat Seneschal.
Yeah, and if it's banished, it goes to your mana zone. So I'm into this.
Yeah, me too. You have to Bone Blaze it, and then it goes to mana.
Yep.
Like, I'm feeling like the Water Dart Nature aggressive decks can use this. I like it.
Yeah, I like this guy a lot. And it's a Cyberlord, so yay for race.
Like, I really do like this guy a lot.
Yeah, you could just like Dendrite into this if worse came to worse, and you just crap all over your opponent, I guess.
I mostly like Royce Strider by itself.
Take a dump on their cereal.
Stop.
On their breakfast.
Stop.
The quartz, it's a monkey. So if you guys are wondering what that was, it's a monkey. It's an emerald monkey.
I was actually wondering what it was.
No, emerald monkey. You see?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, monkey
Okay.
face. And Bubbles. I'm calling it Bubbles.
Okay.
His name is Bubbles.
Next card.
It's a quartz. Yeah, you guys know.
Octusa, the Infused.
Octuska?
Yeah, okay. Didn't realize it had tusks.
Tuska.
I read the name before I saw the picture.
Octuska.
Shut up.
But you're about to name your piano teacher Oksana.
You draw a card, and you put the top card in a mana. Not horrible.
No, not the worst.
Kinda like it.
As far as battle mages go, again, wish it was 5 mana, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, you can Reap and Sow into this guy, and it's
Yeah,
pretty
there's
good
something
progression.
living in this dude's chest.
That being said, you can Reap and Sow into this guy, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do not like the name of the other effect, Mana Tendrils. You serious? Stop doing that.
Well, you're actually touching me. Stop.
Tendril Grasp.
No crisps. Oh,
I like it though. I do like it.
Octuska.
I like it. Next.
Moving on.
Has 2 good races too, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Beastkin Cyberlord.
Hey, look, a Megabug.
Squall Darter.
Megabug is not that
More
good.
Megaborg. More Megabug support. 4 for 2,000 power attack plus 2,000 in swoop. This creature can't be blocked. So, not the best. It's okay.
Okay, that's
Yep. It's okay. It's okay.
Wavebreaker Tribe. Good Beastkin. 2 for
Yes. Yes, very good. Yay for more race support. And it just looks sick. Look at it. It's like a Beastkin, but it's got all like this water armory stuff going on. Excellent art. We're just fishing, minding our own business. It came out of the water, picked up Moog, dragged him back to the waves. Poor Moog.
Why do you think the Beastkin are like some sort of deep country ass fried chicken eating hee-haw?
Poor Moog. Alright, moving on.
Alright, no,
Oh,
we're not.
No, we're not. We're gonna
Okay.
wait.
Blah, 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 blah.
Kevin. So, Blue
Favorite
Warden-
card is...
Kivu. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Keep. Well, yeah.
Can you scroll down, please?
Kivu,
Scroll down
I
a
think
little more,
Blue
please.
Warden, Lord Strider, and Octuska have a
And Wavebreaker.
and
Tribe.
Waybreaker all have a really good place.
So
in
5
this
good
game
cards
right
out of
now,
8.
so 5 out of 8.
I would think.
Yeah. Nature Light or Nature, but God, why can I never say Civs
I think the 2 are
correctly?
probably just Kivu and Bloom Warden, as far as like, because they're just so good in control.
Yeah, I mean Nature Water's just holding it down. Excellent Civs, my favorite Civ combination, and they are definitely
Oh my
Definitely
god,
first
Earth
American one.
Power!
all right.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Cave Mold.
Cavern Mold Quartz.
Oh.
It's a quartz. It's more cool art. So yay for the quartzes, keeping it real
I'm a fan
in
of
the
the
art
art.
department. So moving on.
Foul Mana.
It's
Malfana.
Stop. It's another neat art. You know, it's kind of like a puppet thing going on here with the totem guy. But Shield Blast, minus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. This is what I thought Calamity Bell did at first, and then I realized Calamity Bell didn't have nature going for it. So, Shield Blast, minus 2,000 power until the end of the turn, but it's just one creature, so boo. And then you put the top card of your deck in your mana zone. So I just think a lot of cards are doing this better right now.
If it minus something by like 3 or 4, we'd be talking a different something maybe.
If it minus everything by 2,000, we'd be talking a different
Well,
story.
it'd be like
then it'd be
so much
2.
better than stuff like Age. So.
Oh, of course. Because it has nature.
Whatever.
But what are you gonna do? We're gonna move on.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Goop Stock. Goop Striker. My bad.
Goop Strike. Goop. He's Goop. Striker.
Nice.
Cardboard
Slayer.
creature.
And then it goes to mana.
Yep.
That's about all I gotta say, really.
Yeah, for 3 mana, it's not the worst. And
Mhm.
in sealed, it'll be nuts. But other than that, not the best. Not the biggest fan. I think there's just cards that do it
Yeah.
better right now, and these civs kind of find their place in control
Pretty
more
much.
often than not. So cards
Pretty
like this really don't have a place in that kind of deck type.
Haunted Harvest.
Uh,
Haunted Harvest.
It's cool. It's a watermelon that's kind of like been half eaten and some turnips. Okay. So,
Might as be like the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
That's what's going on there.
4 for 3,000 blocker guard, and whenever it blocks, you put the top card of your deck in your medicine.
Good, not as good as Goop Soldier, so.
No.
Never mind. It's good, but it's not as good as Bloom Warden. That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about.
Exactly.
Is it? Yeah, it's Bloom Warden.
I mean, the 4 mana is just, it's high for what this guy's trying to do.
It's
and,
4 for 3 instead of 3 for 4, which I don't like.
And there's just better ramp.
Yeah,
So,
like Bloom Warden.
like I said, all this nature crap wound up ramping, so it's kind of just kind of make it pick and choose.
Ramp, so much ramp.
So much ramp.
Mass
Mass
Wing. Hey, does it ramp? No.
It's 5. It's a skirmisher for 6,000, so it can't actually attack the opponent. And Spirit Assault, whenever it wins a battle, you choose a creature and discard power, return it to your hand.
Like it a lot in Sealed.
Yeah, it's good and sealed. It's not going to see play constructed just because it's so situational.
Yeah.
So there's just cards that get stuff back from your graveyard.
Again, sweet art. Like the art a lot.
Yeah, very cool. Moving on.
Obsidian Death.
The
Wasn't everyone freaking out about this card?
I thought they were, but then I didn't know why. Because, I mean, it's Tarbor Colossus, so no race support there. Double breakers. So 6 for 6 double breakers, that's not the worst. And whenever another creature is banished, you put the top card of your deck in
Like,
your
if you
mana
can
zone.
combo out and summon this guy and banish your opponent's stuff on the same turn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But, like...
but other than that, I don't know. Again, there's just better ramp. Like, for a 6 for 6, I'd rather be dropping other threats at that point. Or doing more, like, with actual, like, banishment stuff. So, moving on.
I feel you. Another card's gonna look sweet as a berry, though. Anyway, this card is,
Stack the Stinger. That's about all we have to say.
Your opponent choosing discards a card, and you get some mana. Not bad.
Not the worst. And
Like
it's,
it.
And it's a Mega Bug Chimera, so it's got race support.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if Mega Bugs will ever see play in anything that... I mean, I guess Mega Bugs did have that Darkness deck going for him for a little while. So there's that. And then Chimera support is always welcomed. But, I don't know. I don't know if its effects are good enough to warrant seeing play. But, again, if you're following it up with a Reap and Sow, it's not the worst.
You mean following Reap and Sow up with this?
Following Reap and Sow up with this, yeah.
Yep.
That's what I meant to say. There we go. We got
Stack the Stinger.
Moving on, how many people are going to screw that up? They're fucking with people with lists.
What's wrong with you? Oh, God!
Yeah. Oh.
We have to ask Gorby to do a certain impersonation.
Terrorhound, the vanilla. So
4 for
another
5.
4 for 5. It's like that haunted mech thing from Fire Dart, from
Yeah, and
Clash.
Cryptic Worm.
Cryptic Worm. And it doesn't even have, I mean, it has Beastkin going for it, but I don't know. We've
Like,
gotten
Cryptic
some-
Worm is a worm, and there's not a whole lot of worms, but Beastkin are Beastkin. They have a lot of Beastkin.
They have
You
a
can
lot of
just
support,
run.
so this guy's just not. It's kind of neat that that's like a whole mouth and a chest at the same time.
Yeah, that's sort of weird.
So kind of cool.
Yeah.
Neat looking, but I just don't know if it's going to see play. Oh! Alright, so we're done with Nature Dark. So
And
I guess...
in tandem with that, that's not the right word, but we're done with all the unhollows and the various.
And the
We're
various...
going into supers next. But let's talk about Nature Dark.
So,
Not a huge fan of the Nature Dark.
No, did not have a lot going for it. I mean, Skak is okay.
I honestly just don't think any of this is going to see competitive play
Yeah,
in the
me
long
neither.
run. I think
Foul Mana might.
Skak has somewhat potential, but there's better cards on turn 6 to, like, you can puppet on turn 6.
Yeah.
And, like, Obsidian Death is okay. I could see maybe Dex running that. Like, honestly, it has the most potential, I think. Obsidian Death, like, it's alright.
Yeah, it's got potential. And then Foul Mana is just not the best, but whatever. It might see play. Just not a fan of this Civ combination. It's probably the worst out of all 5 Civ combinations so far. So, moving on to the supers. 10 cards left in the set, and then we'll be done. I think we've talked a lot here. So, Eternal Haven, the first Monarch. So, this card got previewed at the championship, I guess, party with Bobby Brake when they brought him back to Kansas.
Yes,
I
it
know I
is.
had a deck based around this. And,
You know what? I could just
Twilight
write
Argent.
a whole article about these monarchs. And I did! So check out the link below and read my article, guys.
There you go.
But let's talk about it some more because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this card's really good, guys.
Like, read the Aura Armor effect and then be like,
I'll give you a minute.
like, how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah.
There are very
It's really
few ways.
difficult.
There are ways.
Bravo!
Stop. I mean, first you have to tap it. So
Yeah.
you got to use Storm Spark.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's very few answers.
Yeah. This guy, he drops on board and then he just kind of sits there.
Like, 'cause you can
and-
use any Slayer and then you can use, like, Ripper Reaper, Your Warriors Fortress, etc.
Queen Kalima.
Yeah, Queen Kalima answers it. Good thing they did there, having Kalima answer this card. But this card is just generally really good, I think, in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
You just drop this guy, get a +1, and if you don't drop a blocker, you still get a +1.
Yep,
And
then
it's
it's
there.
huge triple breaking beast. Yeah.
And if it doesn't die on your next turn, you could drop something like Archon or Stormspark on your next turn, and then like
or
attack their
drop
creatures.
another one of these back to back.
Well, yeah, you can do that, but like if you tap one of the creatures with like Archon, you can kill one of the creatures with this attack, and then like draw another card and get the effect off. There's just a lot of things you can do. If this lives for one turn, you're probably just going to do some crazy, insane things.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to live for a turn. Because
Yep.
it's just that good.
Because it's near impossible to deal with.
Really good design on the Monarchs. I think it's very good.
And that 500 power gets right over Tritonus.
Do you think this is going to ruin the game with power creep, Carl? They can't hear you nod or shake your head.
No, I don't know. Power creep is what it is. Like
Yeah.
they just give these things big power. I mean, they could have given this 12,000 power. and still
You know
would've
power creep's not
fucking
necessarily about
problem.
power, right?
been- Right.
Power creep's about effects
Yeah.
and like general goodness of cards. But I do think this card is balanced in a way.
Yeah.
It's just supposed to be really good, you know?
Yeah, at 10 mana, you should be being rewarded. I mean, obviously, you can bottle into this guy, but that's a different story entirely. But, what are you going to do about bottle? So, bottle into anything that's huge on turn 5, and it just happens. So, moving on. The Water Super, very underwhelming compared to Eternal Haven. But, Queen Alberan. I thought this guy was a lot better when I first read him. It says at the start of each of your turns, look at the top card of your deck, and you may put that creature on the bottom of your deck, and then whenever you cast a spell, you may return target creature that is the same level as that spell from the battles under your hand. I thought it was whenever you cast a spell, bounce a creature.
You just spat on me.
But it's whenever you...
That'd be alright.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
That'd be really
But
good.
this guy says you have to bounce a creature with the same level as
Yeah,
that
it's
spell.
pretty god awful.
Yeah.
But you see the art, it's like the art's really big. What are you trying to do right now? Can you change the picture? This card is not good.
Yeah, no, I'm moving on. I
Alright.
just didn't know how much you were going to talk about its art to try to bring it back from Salvation.
Well, it's pretty cool art. Let's be real.
No, it's cool. I just don't want to pull any.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
Queen Kalima. It's pretty good. It's bigger than
You're
Haven.
about to go into like the sunny days or green something like.
I don't know what that is.
Queen Kalima with a
I feel like Ryan Styles. Queen. Okay, but it's bigger than Haven. It has an
Yep.
effect that bypasses Haven's effect, so it answers Haven in a way.
and laws and all that untargetableness.
Yeah, it's just a generally good card, and people build decks around it just like they build around Haven, but
Yeah.
different because
and
it's a
it
different
has
deck.
that extra effect too. Reanimate. Whenever it swings, you get stuff back from your discard pile.
I talked about this in the article, but I really like that these finishers more so than like the first two we've gotten, Infernus and Tritonus, really benefit if you run them in the decks that benefit from them. Like
Yeah.
you've got to run a lot of blockers for Haven, you've got to run a lot of Dark for Kalima, like a lot. You guys probably don't realize,
Yeah.
but a lot of Dark if you want to get the effect off
with
a lot.
support cards to
Yeah.
benefit off of its effect.
So instead of just seeing piles of good cards like Tritonus Control usually is, we're seeing cards that, reward solid deck building. And I like that.
Oh yes, it's very good. So Queen Kalima, he's been around for a while. We've seen him since the championship, and yep, he's here. So the Fire Super, one of the only supers that we hadn't seen previewed up until the point when they spoiled the set on Wednesday. Forge Lord Vesuvius. I immediately thought of the piano song you played when you were like 12 years old.
We've known each other for a while, and Carl's a weird dude, so
Blaze champion, so more Blaze champions.
I do like this card a little bit.
I do.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
if it
me
was a
too.
dragon, it'd be great, but
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
if it lives and you get some weird combo off, I mentioned like Steam Tank, you just drop this guy and randomly attack, like you drop your hand and like you don't have anything in hand, like you have 1 or 0 cards and you just draw
Yeah.
5, and that's
And
pretty good.
there's a lot of neat tapping stuff going on. I mean, you got like Blitzer Mech and just other cards that can support off this guy as well. So
Not really sure what deck it'll be in yet, but I'm sure it'll see some sort of play. I'm excited to see how. It's pretty good that it might, because it's probably the only decent just fire card in the set. Like the other fire cards that are just fire are pretty awful. And this
Yeah.
card at least has some potential.
and the art is sick. If anything, the art will definitely draw attention. And,
Probably not as much though. I think the only I don't know. It's not that great, but it's still potential.
Yeah, I like it. I think it looks amazing. Like probably one of the coolest cards that I've seen come out of the set. So next, Strider Randolph.
Hey, you spoiled this
I
card.
did spoil this card. If you guys want a more detailed, description of this card and my initial thoughts on it, go check out my video. It's like 3 or 4 videos back. It's my card preview for Wild Strider Randolph. I did it about a week ago. Do you have anything to say about this card?
Yep, nutty in all limited formats and not so great and constructed because it's just better ramp usually, but it's alright. So
Yep. Moving on. So the multi-civ supers, Twilight Archon.
Did you just say Archon?
Archon.
I'm pretty sure it's Archon.
Archon? Twilight Archon?
You don't talk to people
Archon?
about these. Twilight Archer?
Twilight Archon, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't words. So.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's really good with Haven and those sort of late game decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the light dart going for it, so obviously, I mean, you think of those two civs, you think of control, so might find itself in there. The immobilize is really, really good. I mean, enters battle zone, has a Lyra effect, so cool.
Very cool.
And then Impale, if you cast a spell, you banish stuff. So for 11/5, it bounces with Andromedas, which is
But you gotta banish something that's tapped,
appreciated.
which is something.
Yeah, you banish something tapped, but I mean, whatever.
But this card is probably like the prime thing you want to drop with Haven, if not Saracon.
And it's cool because this card works with cards like Repulse and Stormspark and all that. So.
Yeah, and Spark Cage.
And Spark Cage.
Play
So
stuff.
just kind of kills stuff and nets other advantage. So it's
Swag.
kind of cool. I think it'll definitely see play.
A lot of play.
So we'll just find out where it fits in. I mean, I see it in controls initially, and then just like I think the way Andromeda kind of found its way around in other decks, this guy will probably find its way around in anything running these two civs. So very cool. Dragon Knight Volaron, the other super that wasn't spoiled before this set got spoiled on Wednesday.
I'm a fan of this guy.
I like him a lot, yeah.
Like, if it was just a 9-drop, it'd be bad, but it's not a 9-drop. It's a dragon, which means it's a 7-drop, it's an 8-drop, it's a herald drop. Like, there's a lot of things you can do to get this card out early. And, like, you just go in. Notice how fast attack, powerful attack, and double breaker don't have reminder text. So that's pretty cool.
So you guys figure out what the hell these things do, or get punished for it, I guess. I don't know.
Does fast attack mean it attacks fast? Oh, okay. But it does that, and then you get a shield at the end of the turn if it lives.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
very cool. I'm a big fan of this card. And I think it'll see a lot of play. It's like got old man face. It's kind of weird. You see that?
Oh, Carl.
It's like old man Dragon Knight. Old man Volaron. Gorby knows this guy. Grandpa Gorby. That is. Heretic! Prince Vark Raka! Varaka. I like this card. I like this card a lot. Probably one of my favorite supers to come out of the set. Just because of the Civ combination, I like it. Like, Double Breaker fast attack, Heat Wave, gives everything else fast attack. So, I mean, all you gotta do, you either gotta summon it, or if you summon this guy with other stuff, they all
That
have
art
fast
is my
attack.
favorite. It's a snake dragon.
Welcome to the party, Christian. And overheat at the end of the turn, you choose one of your creatures in the battle zone and return to the hand. So all of a sudden, you're getting to use effects again, like
Lyra.
Andromeda, Lyra,
Nyx. Triggers.
Yeah,
Return Dragon, yeah.
Return dragons for Nyx triggers. I mean, if you're running this card in aggro-based decks, you've got cards like Finbar and Rusalka to net more advantage when you summon them again.
Like, even worst case
And it
scenario.
turns them into fast attackers too. It's crazy.
Worst case scenario, you're both top deck and you have a Nyx on board, nothing else is on board or in hands. You draw this, for whatever reason you don't want to attack, you just drop it, draw, return, next turn, drop it, draw, return until you're comfortable with your field.
Yep. This
And
card
you're
is so good. I like it a lot.
It gives everything fat. You just sit there, and the next turn you drop a bunch of little guys, and they all go in.
I think this will probably be the most played super to come out, like especially with like dragons and stuff too.
I mean, that
think
and the
that-
Monarchs. I think the Monarchs just
Yeah.
have so much hype. So.
Yeah, they have a lot of hype, but I think this is definitely, if not a sleeper, it's definitely going to be one of the cards we're going to see at
Well,
the very
everyone knows
first.
it's good.
Well, I'm saying at the very first run of Camseas, we're going to see a lot of decks utilizing this, I believe. So stay on the lookout for that. The Water Nature super. Go check out Carl Reddish's channel, Thunder Sultan. He previewed this card and showed you some cool combos with it, using it with Kalima and Ripper Reaper to banish cards and get them off the top of the deck. And like in the perfect situation, you could just completely banish a board of Havens and Laws and Neptus and all that. So Brand gets around a lot of that untargetable mess. And it's an 8/9 double breaking body, so it's huge in those civs. It doesn't have any race support, but definitely a cool card. And I think it will see play initially. I don't know how much play it'll see as we find our way more into the meta, but it's definitely cool right out the gate, and I think it'll see play initially. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, people are just freaking out about it. So
yeah, I mean, look at that. It's like a freaking totem with a giant. It's a
total sploosh.
Totemopus. A Totemoctopus. A Topoctopus. We're getting there. Alright, last super and last card in the set. Cador, or Corda, I have no idea. How do you say that?
Cordia?
Cordia. The Soul Tyrant.
That's easy, right?
Who previewed this?
Who knows?
Tears.
Sorry, I actually don't know.
I forgot who previewed this, but shout outs to you. 9 for 9,000, double raking body, so good there. And Essence Siphon, when it enters the battle zone, you put all the creatures from your discard pile into your mana zone tapped, and then whenever it attacks, you choose a creature level 6 or less from the mana zone and put it into the battle zone. This card's getting way too much hype.
Like, way too many bad, horrible ideas involving this card. What's that other card that we talked about earlier? We can run... People are like, oh, run this Dark Saber Bolt. You can just run Doom Blast Scared Orbital. It's cheaper and it's better and has 2 better effects. This is just... You're ramping after ramping.
Yeah.
Like, your Sabertooth ramped, and then you're putting things back into mana that weren't even in the graveyard in the first place. No, shut up. Sabertooth isn't going to your graveyard. Sabertooth is going to mana, so your graveyard is probably going to be really small. Then you go up to 11 mana instead of 9, you're like, oh boy, I'm at 11 mana instead of 9. I can do so much with my hand that doesn't exist because I'm running Dark Saber Bolt. Then you attack, and you return your Sabertooth to the board.
If it stays on board, it has to stay on board for a turn.
Just draw a fast attacker. That's what the deck's supposed to be ramping to, is fast attackers and fat, scare adorable. I don't like this card. Oh, I can get an Evo for my mana. What deck do you care about? Oh, stop.
But Christian, you can evolve this guy into Kendricks.
Oh, wow. Let me -3 myself so I can +2. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even a -3. It's just bad. I don't know.
But it's an Earthstrike Dragon. You can make it cheaper with Nyx and Lux and all that.
Oh, you don't say. Don't say.
Can I really? Yeah. This card's... it's a 5 out of 10, guys. It'll see play because people think its effect is better than what it is, but at 9 mana, you're just not... It's not worth it at that point. You've ramped to get more ramp, like Christian said in his little rant a second ago. Like, it's just...
It's probably not as bad as I made it sound.
No.
Like, it's a pretty good card sometimes.
It's okay, but it's so situational, and it's got to stay on board for a turn to get its ability.
Honestly, I might run one in certain decks. You can use Necros with it.
And you got to think,
Necroses.
what are you going to do with 16 mana? And you've got to run water in this Civ just to maintain a hand. So, I mean, these two races don't have any hand support. So
Dark Nature.
Yeah, so
Necroses.
I mean, unless you can like drop Tritonus after this to utilize all that mana you just got, like I just don't see. Like, that's perfect world situations for me. I just don't see how often that's going to happen.
You drop Kalima, then you drop this, and then next turn you drop double Kalima!
Yeah. You could.
That'd be crazy. But then it's kind of bad because Kalima's effect is like returning your creatures from the discard pile, and then you have no creatures in your discard pile.
And then you
return
just
them all to mana.
Deck out.
Whatever. Who decks out 60 card control decks?
Right.
Whatever.
Cordia, not the greatest,
Sweetheart,
but not the worst. It'll see play for sure.
So for supers,
every single one of them except for the water one.
And I mean, the fire and the nature one.
Fire the nature, and I guess Boran.
Boran's,
more or less. Boran will see play.
I forgot what it did already.
It
Never mind, I know what it does. Yeah. Sorry, Reddish. But favorite 3, or actually there's like I have like a favorite 5. Yeah. Sorry. I like Haven, I like Kalima, I like Archon, Dragonite Voralron, and Heretic Prince. Those are my favorite 5.
Yep, those the same for me. Yep.
And then coming up sort of short is like Boran, Cordia, and the Nature Dude. Fire has potential, but I haven't realized it yet, so I'm just going to hold back on that, and King Alberan is just sort of terrible.
Yep.
Watch it be great, and like we're just calling it bad, like we called Tritonus bad.
Yeah.
I'll be really depressed.
What are you going to do? So, that is our complete overview of Shattered Alliance. Every card in the set, our set review, if you will. And hope you guys enjoyed.
I do too. I hope.
Leave some comments down below. Let us know what you think, and we'll start a nice little discussion in the comment section. Talk about some of these cards.
Sweet.
So I enjoy what this set has to offer. I think it's definitely going to shake things up meta wise. Hopefully start to steer away from these dragon heavy decks and these control heavy decks, and maybe focus on some more combo oriented decks with Haven and Kalima.
We're getting crazy dragons in the super rare section.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just interested to see what new decks come out, and I think there will be quite a few.
Me too.
So that will be competitive in that aspect. So looking forward to that. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the social links below: Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Check out CVH's
Check out my
Link
article
below
about.
for the
I
article.
wrote about the monarchs and stuff.
Yep.
Also, check out future articles. I'm probably going to do a lot of content regarding sealed because I haven't done content in a while, and I just feel like set premieres are a good opportunity to show like a different format. So I might write about it if y'all are interested in that in an article, just like 2 tournament reports from 2 set premieres I'm going to, and like maybe record some matches and stuff because I like sealed a lot. But
Indeed. And then stay on the lookout for Kaijudo.com. I'll be writing a battle report article for Shattered Alliance the week after it comes out, so stay on the lookout for that. It should be up right at like late September, towards the end of the month. So
nice.
as soon as KMCs start up. So, good stuff there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
Peach.